the root of bitterness or the sin of bitterness often takes us over like that. And we can't free ourselves from it. And it says, by it many become defiled. And it causes trouble. And we probably all know of individuals' stories that support that or illustrate that. So when he says, see to it that no one fails, then he also says, see to it that no root of bitterness, so that springs up. So at the first, in my life or in someone else's life, if I see that, the goal then is to try to squash it before it gets to be too much of a mess. I guess we would say nip it in the bud would be a good metaphor for that, right? Take care of it before it becomes too strong. Why? What happens if it becomes too strong? So we see to it, so there's three things that we're seeing to that are negatives. See to it that no one fails to obtain the grace of God, so we encourage one another. Again, like chapter 10 says, we're encouraging one another along the Christian path. We're making sure that no root of bitterness springs up and causes trouble. We're seeing to it that that doesn't happen, whether that's in my life or in yours, but we're making sure that it's not happening. Verse 16 then says, see to it that no one is sexually immoral or unholy like Esau, who sold his birthright for a single meal. So this is the story of Jacob and Esau. Esau is out hunting. Jacob is in the kitchen cooking soup. And Esau comes in and says, oh, I'm so hungry, give me some soup. And Jacob says, well, just give me your birthright. Give me your inheritance. Sign it over. And Esau's like, fine. What good is it going to do me anyway? I'm about to die of starvation. Well, not really. So Esau signs it over. Jacob gives him the soup. And later then Esau loses his blessing. Verse 17, for you know that afterward, when he desired to inherit the blessing, he was rejected. So the tricky part on this verse is Esau in the Old Testament is never called sexually immoral. There's nothing in the Old Testament that says that Esau is sexually immoral. And so there's some question about where that came from. The Jewish commentators, they've got lots of ideas as to where it came from, but none of it's in the Bible. Why the New Testament author threw in sexually immoral. Unholy makes sense. Esau profaned, as it were, his birthright. He treated it as something as common as a bowl of soup. Okay, something that was very special as the firstborn son. But he treated it as something that was nothing. And gave it up. And then it says he was rejected, for he found no chance to repent, though he sought it with tears. And Esau did repent. In the literal sense, Esau repented, and he went back and he tried to get the blessing. But this again goes back to the idea I mentioned earlier in the book, where we can't go back to the beginning. This was, I think, in our discussion on Hebrews 6. You can't go back to the beginning and undo what you did. Esau couldn't go back and not sell his birthright. He couldn't take it back. And though he sought the inheritance with tears, he couldn't get it. It was no longer his. He gave it up. And though he would have wanted to go back and undo what he did, there wasn't. He was living with the consequences. So no one sexually immoral. You could look at 1 Corinthians 6 about that as well, where Paul deals with that. But see to it that no one is like Esau in your sphere of influence, or yourself for that matter, and then those around you. So, looks like there's some other classes letting out, but is there any, I feel like we went really fast, but questions, comments on the passage? I feel like we kind of raced a little, but maybe not. Okay, if you have Sunday school ideas for the next section, or Pastor, if you have ideas, obviously, you win. But let me know, or tell Pastor, and we can start making plans for the next session. So, Brian, would you like to close us in prayer today?
Lord Father, we thank you for the time we've had together, reading your word, and learn more about you, and learn more about ourselves through your word, Lord. And we just pray that we can use this in our daily lives and our walk with you. We ask you to bless us this day